We're diving into a fascinating piece of numismatic history, the 1993 D Mint Mark $quarter coin. This coin not only has a rich background but also holds a surprising value that could make it worth millions. So, let's get started. First, let's explore the history of the 1993 D quarter. This coin was minted in Denver, Colorado, and is part of the George Washington Quarter series, which has been a staple of American currency since 1932. The 1993 quarter features the iconic image of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, symbolizing freedom and strength. In 1993, the U.S. Mint produced over 1.2 billion quarters, so you might be thinking, what makes the 1993 D quarter so special? Well, while most of these coins are fairly common, there's a fascinating story behind certain varieties that collectors go crazy for. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The 1993 D quarter is known for a few key varieties, especially the double die variety. This occurs when the coin is struck multiple times, resulting in a noticeable doubling effect on certain features of the coin. Collectors and numismatists are always on the lookout for these rare errors. Depending on the condition and the specific variety, the value of a 1993 D quarter can skyrocket. While regular coins might only be worth 25 cents, the rare varieties can fetch thousands at auction. Speaking of values, let's talk numbers. A typical 1993 D quarter in circulation is valued at face value, 25 cents. However, a well-preserved example of the double die variety can sell for anywhere between $2,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on the grade and condition. And if you have a mint-state example with excellent quality, it could potentially reach values well into the millions. Yes, you heard that right. A rare error coin can truly be a treasure worth seeking. So, how can you identify a valuable 1993 D quarter? Here are some tips. First, look for signs of doubling, especially on the lettering in the date. You can use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to help with this. Also, examine the coin's condition. Coins in pristine condition are far more valuable. Be sure to check for any unusual features or errors, and always keep your coins stored properly to maintain their condition. In conclusion, the 1993 D Mint Mark $quarter coin holds an exciting place in coin collecting. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, keeping an eye out for rare varieties can turn a simple coin into a valuable treasure. So, check your pockets and coin jars, you never know what hidden gems you might find. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more coin collecting tips and insights. Happy hunting, and we'll see you next time. We're exploring a special piece of numismatic history, the 1994 P Mint Mark $quarter coin. This coin not only has an interesting background but can also be worth thousands. Yes, you heard that right. So, let's get started. First, let's take a closer look at this coin. The 1994 P $quarter features the iconic image of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. The reverse showcases a depiction of a majestic eagle, symbolizing the strength and freedom of the United States. But what makes this coin particularly special? Well, it's all about its mintage and rarity. In 1994, the Philadelphia Mint produced around 1.1 billion quarters. While this number might sound high, not all coins are created equal. The 1994 P $quarter is often sought after by collectors due to its unique features and the potential for high value in certain conditions. Now, you might be wondering, what determines a coin's value? Let's break that down. However, coins that have been certified and graded as MS-66 or higher can reach values of $500 or more. The most extraordinary examples, those with unique errors or exceptional quality, can be worth thousands of dollars. Where the design appears to be stamped twice, coins that were not perfectly aligned during the minting process. If you happen to find one of these error coins, you could be looking at a collector's item worth thousands of dollars. So, where can you find these valuable coins? You might want to check your pocket change or look through rolls of quarters at your local bank. You can also check online marketplaces or attend coin shows, where collectors often buy, sell, and trade their prized possessions. To wrap things up, the 1994 Mint Mark $quarter coin is more than just a piece of currency, it's a slice of American history with the potential to be a valuable asset in your collection. So, keep your eyes peeled for this little treasure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more coin collecting insights. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a 1994 quarter or if you own any rare coins yourself. We're diving into a coin that might just change the way you think about quarters, the 1972 Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin. This unassuming coin has an intriguing history and, believe it or not, some rare versions of it are worth a lot more than 25 cents, we're talking potentially millions of dollars. Let's start by going back in time to 1972. This was the year when the U.S. Mint produced the Washington quarter at the San Francisco Mint, indicated by the S Mint mark on the coin. Most quarters minted at San Francisco in 1972 were part of proof sets, meaning they were struck with higher precision and featured a mirror-like finish. The quarter itself bears the familiar design of George Washington on the obverse, created by John Flanagan. Washington's profile has been a staple on the quarter since 1932. The reverse features the classic American eagle with outstretched wings holding a bundle of arrows and olive branches, a symbol of both strength and peace. Now, while millions of these coins were produced, the 1972 Mint Mark quarters were unique for several reasons. The San Francisco Mint created both standard proof quarters and a small number of special error coins, which is where the rarity, and the value, of these coins comes into play. Certain 1972 quarters feature errors or unique characteristics that collectors are on the lookout for. Errors can occur during the minting process, resulting in varieties like double dies, improper cladding, and off-center strikes. These errors significantly increase the coin's value, sometimes leading to auction prices in the tens of thousands or even millions of dollars. Some specific errors and varieties that make these coins more valuable include double die obverse, where the details on Washington's profile appear doubled, and missing clad layer errors, which can give the quarter a distinctive copper appearance. A rare find like this could fetch an impressive price from the right buyer. Now, let's talk about the jaw-dropping numbers. While not every 1972 quarter is worth millions, those with rare errors or in pristine condition are known to have reached high values. Recently, a collector's item in perfect proof condition with a high grade can sell for thousands, while certain error coins have been estimated to be worth potentially millions at auction. This massive jump in value depends on factors like the coin's condition, rarity, error type, and grading. If you've got a 1972 quarter, getting it authenticated by a reputable grading service is the best way to find out if you're sitting on a treasure. So, how can you tell if your 1972 quarter is worth a fortune? First, check for the mint mark. The S will be on the lower right side of Washington's profile. Next, inspect it closely for any signs of errors. You can use a magnifying glass or, better yet, a microscope to look for double details, unusual colorations, or other anomalies. And if you think you've got a rare one, have it graded by experts like PCGS or NGC. A high grading means a higher value, and a documented error could be your ticket to a huge payday. The 1972 Washington $quarter is a fascinating coin with a lot of history and potentially a lot of value. You never know, what seems like an ordinary quarter could be a hidden gem worth millions. If you're a collector or just curious about the coins in your pocket, take a closer look. Who knows what treasures you might find? We're diving into a coin that's captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike, the 1973 No Mint Mark Washington quarter. Now, this may look like an ordinary quarter, but some rare versions of this coin can be worth millions. So, what's the story behind it, and how do you know if you have one of these ultra-rare treasures? Let's get into it. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932 to celebrate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. It became so popular that the U.S. Mint kept the design for decades. Now, for the 1973 quarters, most were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. But, interestingly, those from Philadelphia have no mint mark. Today, it's these Philadelphia minted quarters that could potentially be worth a fortune. So, what makes the 1973 no mint mark Washington quarter so special? Most 1973 quarters aren't particularly valuable, even in uncirculated condition. However, certain ultra-rare error versions have captured collectors' attention and could be worth millions. These aren't just any regular quarters. Typically, the coin's rarity comes from misprints, double dies, or unusual minting errors. Let's take a look at what makes them valuable. First off, errors like double dies are highly sought after. With a double die error, you might see a slight overlap on the date or lettering. Another example includes coins struck on the wrong planchet, like a quarter accidentally struck on a nickel or dime planchet, giving it a unique and often thinner appearance. Additionally, some quarters can have partial cladding errors, which change the coloring and make them truly unique. These are the types of things that set the rare versions apart from the standard 1973 quarter. Now, for the part we're all interested in, the value. In rare cases, error coins like these have sold for millions of dollars at auctions. Back in 2019, a 1973 quarter with a major error went for over $1 million. That kind of value is usually reserved for coins with extreme historical or minting anomalies. So, if you find a 1973 no mint mark quarter with some unusual features, you could be in for a big payday. Here's what you should look for in your 1973 no mint mark quarter. Examine the coin carefully. Check the date, lettering, and the edges. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to spot any signs of doubling or errors in the details. If you're unsure, it's worth getting the coin authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can confirm if your coin has any valuable minting errors. Curious to know if your quarter is the real deal? Check out some resources to get your coin appraised. You can also take it to coin shows where you might find experts who can give you their opinion on the spot. Remember, though, rarity is key. If you have a 1973 quarter with a rare error, you've potentially got a 6 or even 7-figure coin on your hands. So, there you have it, folks. The 1973 no mint mark Washington quarter may be worth just 25 cents on the surface, but if you're lucky enough to have one of the rare error versions, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Remember to keep an eye out for those unique features, and who knows, your change jar could hold $1 million coin. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin content, and let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare quarter. We're diving into a truly fascinating piece of American history, the 1974 mint mark quarter dollar. Many collectors out there are on the hunt for this rare coin, and if you have one in your collection, it could be worth a small fortune. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's explore the history, details, and the jaw-dropping value of this amazing coin. Let's go back in time to the year 1974. America was going through a lot. Inflation was high, and the country was still recovering from the aftermath of the Vietnam War. The U.S. Mint was producing quarters as usual, but something special was happening at the San Francisco Mint. The 1974 quarter was primarily issued as a proof coin, which means it was specially made for collectors rather than general circulation. Proof coins like these are struck multiple times to achieve a high level of detail, giving them a stunning mirror-like finish. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin so unique. First, you'll notice the S mint mark, indicating that it was made at the San Francisco Mint. The 1974 quarter is crafted with exquisite detail, which makes it stand out. Proof quarters like this one often have a cameo effect, where the design looks frosted, while the background shines like a mirror. These proof coins were never intended for everyday transactions. Instead, they were made in limited quantities and sold directly to collectors, which is why finding one today is so rare. Alright, let's get to the part you've been waiting for, the value. Most 1974 quarters that you come across will be regular circulated coins, worth around their face value. But the 1974 S-proof quarter is different. If you have one, you might be sitting on a treasure worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars in perfect condition. Because of their rarity and demand among collectors, some of these coins have fetched record-breaking prices at auctions. A flawless 1974 S-proof quarter with a high grade can fetch a premium price. The coin's worth is heavily influenced by its condition and grade, and unblemished examples are the most valuable. So, how can you tell if your 1974 S quarter is worth millions? Well, first, make sure it's a proof coin with the S mint mark. Next, check the condition. Coins that are in perfect condition, often graded by professionals as PF 69 or PF 70, are incredibly rare and desirable. To get an accurate idea of your coin's value, it's essential to have it graded by a professional coin grading service. They'll give it an official grade, which can make a huge difference if you decide to sell it. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a 1974 S quarter, you'll want to protect it to maintain its value. Store it in a protective case, and handle it as little as possible to avoid fingerprints or damage. Remember, even the smallest scratch can significantly impact the coin's worth. To sum it up, the 1974 S mint mark quarter dollar is a fascinating and potentially valuable piece for collectors. Whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned pro, this is one coin you'll want to keep an eye out for. If you enjoyed learning about this rare coin and want to discover more valuable coins, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We're always uncovering the hidden treasures in pocket change, so join us on this exciting journey. We're diving into the fascinating story behind the 1975 Washington quarter with no mint mark. A coin that's caught the attention of collectors around the world for its rarity, history, and potentially massive value. The Washington quarter has a long and rich history, first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. But today, we're focusing on one special quarter, the 1975 no mint mark version. This coin is unique not only for its rarity but also for the intrigue surrounding its value and the mystery of why it was never officially produced. Now, if you've been a collector for a while, you probably know there's no official 1975 quarter released by the US Mint. That's right. In fact, it's a mystery to many. So, why don't we find a standard 1975 Washington quarter? Here's the scoop. The US Mint made the bold decision to create only bicentennial quarters for both 1975 and 1976. These were minted with the dual date 1776 to 1976 on the front, and they carry a special reverse design featuring a colonial drummer. So, if the US Mint never officially produced quarters with the single date 1975, how could a 1975 no mint mark quarter exist? It's rare to find any quarter dated 1975 for this reason, which has sparked collectors' curiosity and fascination. Some believe that a small number were accidentally minted or created as test pieces. Given the intrigue and rarity surrounding these coins, even just the rumor of a 1975 quarter surfacing could send waves through the collecting community. A coin like this, if verified, could potentially be worth millions of dollars. The combination of its unintentional production, mystery, and historical importance could make it an absolute gem at auction. Why so valuable, you ask? Well, rarity plays a huge role in the value of coins. Because the 1975 quarter shouldn't exist, finding one could be like discovering a piece of lost history. Collectors are willing to pay enormous sums for a coin that could fill a unique gap in their collections. So, what do you think? Could there really be a 1975 Washington quarter out there waiting to be discovered? And if so, how much do you think it would be worth? Let us know in the comments below. We're diving into an incredible story of a coin that you might just have in your pocket or change jar right now. We're talking about the 1980 Washington quarter with the Philadelphia mint mark, that's right, the P mint mark. You won't believe the potential value these coins can hold, especially if you happen to have a rare variety. Let's jump into the history and key details that could make this quarter worth millions of dollars. First, let's talk about the history. In 1980, the United States Mint was producing millions of quarters due to the high demand for circulating coins. In Philadelphia, where the P mint mark was stamped on these quarters, they produced a staggering 518 million quarters that year. So, why would a common coin like this have the potential to be worth millions? As with any collectible, the value of a coin hinges on a few critical factors: rarity, condition, and unique errors or varieties. In the case of the 1980 P Washington quarter, collectors have found coins that exhibit some unique errors that can drive their value through the roof. One of the most sought-after variations is the double die obverse, where the imagery on the front of the coin appears doubled. This is especially noticeable in the lettering and the details of Washington's portrait. Coins with this type of error are rare and can fetch an enormous price at auction due to their scarcity and historical significance. For example, in recent auctions, quarters from other years with similar errors have sold for hundreds of thousands, even millions. Although finding an error in a 1980 P quarter is rare, it's not impossible. It's like winning the lottery if you discover a double die or other unique minting error on a quarter you've had all along. Another factor in determining the value of a 1980 P Washington quarter is its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being absolutely flawless. A coin in mint state or near perfect condition will naturally be worth more. If you find a 1980 P quarter in pristine condition, especially if it has a minting error, you could be holding on to something extremely valuable. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable quarter? First, consider having it graded by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations can provide an official grade, which helps determine your coin's market value and authenticity. Look carefully at the letters and Washington's profile for any signs of doubling. The closer it is to mint condition, the better. Sometimes, these coins can have other unique mint errors, such as die cracks or unusual strike marks. Just imagine, the next time you check your change, you might find a piece of American history worth millions of dollars. It's amazing to think that a small coin, created for daily use, could hold so much value simply because of a rare twist of fate during its production. We're exploring the 1981 Washington quarter with the P mint mark, a coin that's stirred up some buzz among collectors. Could this little quarter in your pocket actually be worth thousands or even millions of dollars? Stick around to find out. First, let's talk a bit about the history behind the Washington quarter. Introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this quarter was designed by John Flanagan. The 1981 P mint mark quarter, minted in Philadelphia, continued this iconic design. By the 1980s, the Washington quarter was well established as a staple in American currency. The Philadelphia Mint produced around 601 million of these quarters in 1981, so it's not particularly rare, or is it? Now, most people wouldn't expect a common 1981 P quarter to be worth much. However, there are certain features that can make this coin significantly valuable. Let's look at what makes some of these quarters so special. The first thing to check is the mint mark, located on the front of the coin, right next to George Washington's ponytail. As with all valuable coins, condition matters. The highest value is typically placed on coins in mint state or uncirculated condition. But beyond condition, the real kicker here is any error or variation. Quarters from this year are known to have a few interesting varieties. You might find an off-center strike, a double die, or even some coins that were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other denominations or metals. These mint errors are where things start to get very exciting. So, let's talk about the big question: how much can this 1981 P quarter be worth? For a typical quarter, it might be worth around 25 cents to a couple of dollars in circulated condition. But in mint state condition, the coin's value goes up to $25 or more depending on the grade. Now, If you have one of those rare error coins or a unique variety, you're in for a treat. Some of these quarters have sold for thousands, even tens of thousands, of dollars at auction. And the very best, museum-quality quarters with unusual features can potentially fetch a fortune, especially if you find one that's nearly flawless. If you're hoping to find a 1981p quarter worth a small fortune, here's what you should look for. First, check for any doubling on the date, lettering, or Washington's face. Next, examine the edges and surface for any unusual texture or planchet errors. Also, keep an eye out for any off-center strikes, as these are rare and can dramatically increase the value. So there you have it. The 1981p Washington quarter might just be a common coin in most cases, but certain versions of it can be worth a small fortune. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a beginner, it's always a good idea to check your pocket change for these hidden gems. Who knows? You might just have a rare treasure waiting to be discovered. We're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting, where even a simple quarter can be worth a small fortune. And our star today, the 1982p Washington quarter, a coin that has collectors and enthusiasts talking. So, what makes this quarter so special, and why do some believe it could be worth millions? Let's find out. First, let's go back to 1982, a year when Washington quarters were made a little differently than before. In 1982, the U.S. Mint did something rare for the time. They didn't release any mint sets for collectors. This means many of these quarters in top condition are hard to find, as collectors couldn't obtain fresh, pristine coins directly from the mint that year. Without official mint sets, collectors are left hunting for well-preserved quarters in circulation. Finding a high-grade 1982 quarter is like finding a needle in a haystack. And if you're lucky enough to come across a pristine example with minimal wear, you might have something truly valuable on your hands. Let's take a closer look at the design of the 1982p quarter. It features George Washington on the obverse, or front side, a design that was introduced in 1932 and is still in use today. The P mint mark, found under the "In God We Trust" inscription, indicates that this coin was minted in Philadelphia. This was the first year the P mint mark was used on the Washington quarter, making it a historically significant coin for collectors. Now, let's talk about why some 1982 quarters are worth more than others. The value of a coin is heavily influenced by its condition, rarity, and demand. For the 1982p quarter, top-grade examples, those that are uncirculated or in mint state condition, can fetch impressive prices. For instance, a 1982p quarter in a near-perfect grade has been known to sell for thousands, sometimes even reaching five-figure prices at auction. But what about the rumors of these coins being worth millions? Here's the thing. While a single quarter from 1982 isn't typically valued in the millions, certain high-grade specimens and rare error coins have sold for substantial amounts. The value of a coin can skyrocket under the right circumstances, especially if it features a unique minting error or is an exceptionally well-preserved piece. Error coins are a favorite among collectors, and the 1982 quarters have their fair share. Look out for things like doubling on the lettering, or even off-center strikes. Such errors make a coin not only unique but highly collectible. When it comes to coin value, grading is everything. Coins graded MS65 and above are what you're looking for if you're hoping to hit the jackpot. In these high grades, a 1982p quarter could command thousands of dollars due to its rarity in pristine condition. So, could the 1982p Washington quarter in your pocket be worth a fortune? While not every coin will be worth millions, you could still find one with substantial value, especially if it's in great condition or has an error. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. You never know when you might come across a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed learning about the 1982p Washington quarter, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin collecting videos. And remember, it's always worth taking a closer look at the change in your pocket. You might just find something amazing. Happy hunting, and see you in the next video. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1983p Mint Mark Washington quarter, a coin that has taken the collecting community by storm and could be worth a small fortune. Let's rewind a bit to the early 1980s. The Washington quarter, first issued in 1932, continued to be minted in 1983 as a part of general circulation. Now, these quarters were primarily minted for everyday transactions, so there wasn't a lot of thought about making them collector-worthy at the time. What makes the 1983 P quarter unique is that it's part of a year when no mint sets were produced. Philadelphia minted over 673 million of these quarters that year. But since no official mint sets were made in 1983, these coins didn't get preserved in uncirculated condition like coins from other years. Instead, most of them went straight into circulation and were used, worn, and lost over time. So, finding one today in pristine condition is incredibly rare and has driven up its value among collectors. Now, you're probably wondering, how can a regular 1983 P quarter be worth thousands, or even millions of dollars? Well, let's break down a few key reasons why certain 1983 P quarters are so valuable. Because most 1983 quarters were heavily circulated, those in near-perfect or mint-state condition are extremely rare. Coins graded MS 65 or higher by a grading company like PCGS or NGC are the ones that can fetch jaw-dropping prices. There's a high demand among collectors to complete sets, especially with quarters from the early 1980s due to the lack of mint sets. And for those who focus on Washington quarters, the 1983 P is one of the most sought-after pieces. Another factor that could drive up the value is if the coin has any unique errors or varieties. For instance, coins with double die errors, off-center strikes, or other unique imperfections tend to attract high bids from collectors and auction houses. So, let's talk numbers. If you have a 1983 P Washington quarter in average circulated condition, it might be worth just its face value of 25 cents. However, quarters in high grades, say MS 67 or MS 68, have been known to sell for thousands at auction. In fact, one particularly high-grade specimen went for over $7,000. Curious about whether you've got a valuable 1983 P quarter in your change? Here's what to do. First, check the coin for the P mint mark on the front. Next, inspect the overall condition of the coin. Look for sharp details and minimal scratches or wear. If you think you have a quarter in excellent condition, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its value. So, there you have it, the 1983 P Washington quarter might be worth more than you think. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, checking your pocket change might just lead you to a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more coin tips and discoveries. And let us know in the comments, have you found any rare coins in your change? We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1989 P Washington quarter dollar coin. Could this everyday coin be worth a small fortune? Let's find out together. The 1989 P Washington quarter might look like just another coin in your pocket, but there's more to it than meets the eye. This quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1989, the quarter had been in production for over 50 years, and the U.S. Mint was producing millions of these coins annually. In 1989, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 512 million Washington quarters, all marked with a P for Philadelphia. These quarters were struck in a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a standard that began in 1965 when the mint switched from using silver to this copper-nickel blend. The P mint mark is found right above the date on the obverse side of the coin, next to George Washington's ponytail. But what makes a 1989 P Washington quarter special? Are there certain features to look out for? To most collectors, a standard 1989 P Washington quarter is only worth its face value, but certain rare features or mint errors can make a coin far more valuable. Coins in extremely high grades, such as MS68 or MS69, are considered nearly flawless and can be worth significantly more. In fact, a 1989 P quarter in MS-68 has fetched over $2,000 in auctions. These coins are carefully preserved and show no visible wear or damage under magnification. The real treasures are in mint errors. Error coins are always a favorite among collectors because they're so unique. For the 1989 P quarter, look for double die obverse, where details on Washington's face or the date appear doubled. Another valuable error is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing, adding a quirky look and rarity to the coin. Though less common, transitional errors can also be worth a lot. Some collectors have reported finding 1989 quarters struck on incorrect planchets, such as those intended for other denominations. If you spot a quarter with an unusual edge or strange coloring, you may want to have it checked out by a professional grader. So, could your 1989 P quarter be worth millions? The reality is, while most 1989 quarters are relatively common, certain pristine error coins have been known to bring in high prices at auctions. Coins that are both high-grade and feature prominent errors can fetch tens of thousands of dollars in value. In fact, some rare Washington quarters with unique features have sold for six figures in the past. While there's no confirmed million-dollar sale of a 1989 P Washington quarter, the potential for a high sale exists with the right combination of rarity and condition. If you think you have a valuable 1989 P quarter, here are a few tips for identifying and potentially selling it. First, send your coin to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll assess the coin's condition, certify any errors, and provide an official grade, which adds value when you go to sell it. Look closely for any visible doubling on Washington's face, off-center strikes, or other anomalies. If you spot anything unusual, make sure to get a second opinion from an experienced coin dealer. Finally, if you've got a high-grade or error coin, consider selling it at an auction. Online platforms like Heritage Auctions and Great Collections are great places to list your coin and connect with serious collectors. The 1989 P Washington quarter may be a common coin, but with the right features, it can be worth so much more than 25 cents. So, next time you're sorting through your spare change, keep an eye out for these valuable details. You might just have a treasure in your hands.